First of all, let's fix this lighting situation. There we go. It's a lot better. Oh, when you know, shop on Amazon and you end up with 70,000 lumens worth of lights, because why not? Cool story. All right. So anyway, so this sort of came out of last year. I was doing an iron butt run and ended at night and had a lot of difficulty on the highway for the last few hours just seeing well enough, you know. And so decided before I got into the big riding season this year that I would try and remedy that problem. So a couple things. First of all, I know it's pretty popular to get big lights, adventure lights, etc., where, you know, folks want to slap 20,000 lumens on either side of the bike, which is fine if you need it and if you're not on the road. So I also didn't want to put, you know, 7-inch rounds on the front of my bars just because I happen to like the way my bike looks. So the Darlas are, I think, 2,400 lumens a piece. So that's the direction we decided to go in. We'll see how it works. The good news is with Clearwater, they have like 8 million different mounting options, and you can mount dual lights. So if at some point I want more light, then I can just basically have the Darlas as running lights during the day and then get an Erica Savino, whatever, sort of dual mounted next to them for super duper light. So we'll see how it goes. First of all though, we need to get the bike from leaned over on the side to up on the wheel dock. It was a really cool thing. This was something when I got this bike that weighs, you know, 900 pounds. Something that I found, I believe it's made in Oklahoma, made in the USA. It is a sort of like a wheel chock, like a traditional wheel chock like you would think of, but then it has a gas shock in it. So basically you can lower the back, roll the bike up into it, and then once you get the front wheel positioned into the chock, you just step on this little pad right here and it automatically pops the back up and locks the front wheel in. I know some people will probably say, oh, that's not necessary. Who would want that? Well, because I don't want to roll a 900-pound bike into a wheel chock and then on top of that try and roll a 900-pound bike out of a wheel chock. What we got to do is get both side panels off. Those are pretty easy to remove. We'll do that. Intake side off to make it easier to run the wires, because once you get the lights on the engine bar, if you can see up in there, not very well, but you have to run the wiring down between the tank and the top of the motor to get back to where the can opener and everything will splice into the bike. So let's go ahead and unbox these lights. Obviously I already opened it, but just kind of want to go through the process. So I did look through the instructions, and they are a 4 or 5 page instruction booklet for a specific bike. Pretty good, all things considered. I've definitely seen vastly worse instructions. Yeah, when it comes to the R18, one of the things which, you know, it's a fairly new bike, especially the Bagger and Transcontinental. They've only been out since 2022, and there's not a whole lot of parts available for them, and most of the parts that are available for them come from Europe. So there's not a lot of, you know, forums, videos, whatever on installing stuff. Now, most of it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I've done a pretty decent amount, I guess, really, as far as the bike's concerned. I've modified damn near most of what can be modified on the bike without going like actual fabrication and everything like that. Like basically bolt-on parts. This bike has most all of the bolt-on parts that you would find. So we will go ahead and unbox this, get it all on the table, and kind of poke through the instructions and see what we got going on. There we go. So we've got the crash bar mounts, the crash bar adapters, the can opener that will cut into the bike itself, and then fan out to the lights for the data so that the wonder wheel on the handlebars works with it. And then you've got some extensions and the other can opener harness. So these are light covers, yellow and clear. It just fit over the lights and provide some protection, and then allow you to go yellow if you want to. In terms of the lights themselves, this is them. I believe they're 2.2 inches in diameter, 2400 lumens each. So, first thing to do here after we get everything laid out is to get the necessary parts of the bike. So, we're going to be removing both side panels here. There's one on either side. And then just for ease of access to where the wires need to run up between the tank and the motor, we are going to remove this cover here to give us a little bit more space to work with. And then once we get down in there, there'll be a couple little panel parts and battery cover and all that jazz to get rid of. So as I was saying, in terms of instructions, this seems to be pretty thorough, but pretty thorough. Gives you your usual part list and kind of your wiring diagram. And then it goes over specifically this bike, which is kind of unique. Sometimes you don't see this with the R18. Kind of showing you where to lay stuff out, kind of here it is installed on the bike. Some specifics on where to plug your wires, kind of where things are, where they're situated with the bike, a little bit on how to position your lights, everything like that. But yeah, good stuff. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the side panel off on this side and the other side, revealing some of the wiring over here. Battery is down in there, so you can see it. We've got this intake side taken off too, again, to give us a little bit more access up to where we need to run the wires. Here's parts over here, nothing exciting, nothing super crazy, just a few plastic panels, a little metal cover. Going ahead, first of all, and remove the OBD2 port cover. So you pop that cable out, and then this little cover right here actually slides over out of these little tracks right here. Gives you a little bit more access in there because you will need to tap your can opener cable into that right there. So you have to take this dude out, plug your harness in, and then run the wires up through there. Alright, so I got the OBD2 out, and I went to access the battery. There's a panel over the battery here, a couple of T25s I believe. And I will say, I don't know if this was BMW or if this was the dealer that I went through. If maybe they listened to some customer feedback, but because the battery is so difficult to access, it looks like they put a little kickoff on here from the negative terminal. So you don't really have to deal with, you know, taking the strap off and inching the battery out as much as you can to try to get something on the negative side. So it makes it a lot easier because now you have this little kickoff here that you can put your can opener power wire for your lights on without messing too much with everything. Alright, so we got everything wired up just for a test run to make sure that everything works right, so we haven't tightened anything up, and we just kind of got it all hanging out. But let's go on ahead and see what these bad boys look like. So I've got them both pointed, you see, kind of toward the wall there. The bike doesn't need to be on, so one sec. So there you go. I don't know if you can hear me, but that is a single light right there. Needless to say, they are very bright for being 2-inch lights. So we're gonna take this wiring apart a little bit and kind of start running things and figuring it out. All right, update here. So as suspected, as was told, this is very much just a wiring, cleaning up your tedious stuff, getting zip tied, everything. So we've got kind of everything kind of where it goes in general, and now we are just playing the hide the wires game. So working our way back, got the relay zipped up there. I'm gonna put the light bars on here in a minute, or put the light clamps on and put the lights on to make sure we get everything there. And then work our way back and kind of tuck back in to this battery holder. All right, so we have the light pods themselves hooked up on the bars. They are not super tight or aimed or anything. I just kind of wanted to get a feel for how much wire I had left to turn and get everything where I wanted. I haven't clipped zip ties or whatever. I did going ahead and tidy up the wires that run along the spine back here. Coming down in here, there's a pretty decent place to tuck wires kind of behind this little battery cover here that also has a couple of points that this panel hooks onto. Now I will say, Clearwater sends you quite a few zip ties, and of course I'm sure anybody who does motorcycle stuff has 10 pounds of them anyway, but honestly, you know, the wiring in here is crammed in so tight that I feel like zip ties in this mess aren't really going to make much of a difference. I'm not going to mess with trying to zip tie stuff off because it ain't going to budge anyway, I don't think, and if it does, I'll let you know how wrong I am. Then coming over to this side, so the only thing that comes out of the right side of the bike is this one positive terminal that hooks into this little positive post over here so that you don't have to access it on the battery. So I'm going to go ahead and zip tie stuff off, get everything put together, and then turn the bike on, take a look at the lights, and then start doing the process of aiming them. Decided to record this part of the audio separately since you can't hear anything with me standing right in front of the bike. After a couple of days of tinkering with angles, distance, getting the lights lined up, getting them hopefully angled downward enough where they won't blind traffic, and getting them angled outward a bit so they will show the sides of the road. This is showing you the auxiliary lights at 30% when the brights are not on first. The second example is the auxiliary lights at 100% when the bright is turned on. And then the third option here is having them blink if your hazards are on.
A lot of people want to know what makes Bush's baked beans taste so darn good. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
There are some other options too. You can have the lights dim when you turn on a specific turn signal. So, you know, your right auxiliary light will dim when the right turn signal is turned on, left, etc. And the different lights, the Darla is pretty basic because it's a smaller one. The more complex lights with more LEDs and options have some other functions that you can program in. But this is just, I know it's daytime, so you can't really get a full view of it, but honestly, if I film them at night, they just blind the camera anyway. But long and short, I'm pretty happy. It wasn't too difficult to install. It was like, you know, an hour of installation followed by 3 hours of getting the wiring all tidied up, followed by a couple of nights just aiming them at the garage, aiming them at a car out in front of them, and kind of tinkering with the angles and getting everything where I wanted it. Won't really know. It'll probably be a work in progress until I get some miles into them. But anyway, this is kind of where they're at today, and I'm pretty happy. I mean, it's not a cheap kit by any stretch of the imagination, but Clearwater comes with a very good name and reputation, and I just wanted to kind of buy once, cry once. So here you go.